So today I'll talk about a Toyota with the P0137 code, what it is, and how you go about fixing it. So what is a Toyota P0137 code? Well, it's an O2 sensor, circuit low voltage, bank 1 sensor 2. And what does this mean? Well, the onboard computer uses sensors located on the exhaust to know how much oxygen's been burnt off during combustion, and it's seen a problem with one of these, so it's going to have to be troubleshooted to know why. And bank 1 is always the side of the engine with the number 1 cylinder, so if it's a 4-cylinder, it wouldn't matter, but if you had a V6, then you'd want to find the number 1 cylinder, and that would be bank 1, and sensor 2 will be the second sensor going down on that side. And some possible causes of this, well, it could be a bad sensor, could be in the wiring like an open or a short, and possibly a blown fuse. And so the first thing to do when you get this code is to go locate bank 1, sensor 2, oxygen sensor. And these can be located differently. It's going to depend on the year of the Toyota, the engine type, and things like this. So it's always a good idea to go get a diagram of where the sensors are located on your particular Toyota. Although you don't have to have this to find it, it makes it easier. And this is a 2007 Camry with a 3.5 liter V6 engine. And as you can see right here, bank 1, sensor 2 will be right here, and it'll be after the catalytic converter. And the basics of what's going on with these sensors is that sensor 1 is going to be located before the catalytic converter, and it's going to be called the upstream. And sensor 2 is going to be located after the catalytic converter, and it's going to be called the downstream. And these sensors actually do two things. One, they monitor the oxygen that's been burnt off during combustion, but they also have heater elements inside of there that monitor the catalytic converter. Since when the catalytic converter starts to fail, it heats up, so they're monitoring this. But the one you want to go and find is going to be called the downstream oxygen sensor, or sensor 2. And so once you locate the sensor, the next thing to do is to check out this wiring real good, be sure everything's connected, and basically just be aware that anything wrong with the wiring, open, short, bad connection, is going to cause the same symptoms as a bad sensor. So you want to check that out and be sure that all looks good. Also keep in mind this is going to be on a fuse. There'll be a fuse box inside the engine compartment, and if that blows, then it can cause an issue. So for example, here's a 2012 Toyota Camry, and it's fuse number 33, air fuel sensor. Here's another example of 2005 Toyota Tacoma, and right here it has AF heater. That would be for those sensors. And this one also has a relay right here that if it went bad can cause a problem. So that's all something to keep in mind. So if you got to check that out, there's nothing wrong with the wiring, that all looks good, there's no blowing fuses or anything like that, then very likely that sensor has just failed and just needs to be replaced. You can't test it if you want to. There's some good YouTube videos on how you go about testing it to be sure that it's bad. One thing to keep in mind with these is that sometimes they require a special tool to remove. Usually sensor 2 doesn't need the tools since it's out in the open, and quite often you can get on it with the open and wrench or something along these lines. But sometimes they do require a special tool since sometimes they're recessed into the exhaust. Like I said, not all the time, but it's a good idea to go and look and be sure you got the tools to get it out just in case you do need that special tool. I'll put a link down below to show you what I'm talking about if you need to check it out. But just be aware that sometimes you need that tool and then sometimes you don't. And so that's basically it. I just want to give a real quick brief overview of how you go about fixing a Toyota with the P0137 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.